All right. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, maybe, for everybody joining us around the world today. A very warm welcome to our webinar, Empowering Youth to Achieve Sustainable Development Goals in the Arab region. My name is Dima Asi. I am the project officer for the Arab region program at KAICIID International Dialogue Center. Before we get started, we would like to mention that this webinar is hosted by KAICIID International Dialogue Center, and it is also under the umbrella of the Interreligious Platform for Dialogue and Cooperation in the Arab World. I would like, if you may allow me all, I would like to give a gentle brief of today's webinar house rules. This webinar is being interpreted into Arabic language, and you may choose the Arabic interpretation channel at the bottom right in your screen, and please choose the language titled as Spanish, and apologies for the technological limitations for not being able to mention it as Arabic, but please use the Spanish and Arabic interpretation will be available. I may say the same sentence in Arabic for our Arabic audience. خلال هذه الندوة يتوفر ترجمة فورية للغة العربية، ممكن استخدامها عن طريق استخدام خيار الترجمة interpretation بأسفل يمين الشاشة، رجاء ضغط على اللغة الإسبانية، ونعتذر على يعني التحديات أحيانا التقنية ما سمحتنا نسميها باللغة العربية. Going back, the presentation will be, please note that the presentation will be followed by a Q&A section. We will make sure to take everybody's question and to the best capacity possible, but please note, our dear participants, if you have any question to a specific speaker, please mention their name so we may address it as mentioned. Also, this webinar is recorded into Arabic language and, is recorded in both Arabic and English together, and both will be published on the Dialogue Knowledge Hub website page on KAICIID website. Last but not least, before I move to introduce our excellent speakers for today, I would like to encourage our dear participants to maybe introduce yourselves through the chat function. Maybe you mention your name, where you come from, which country, and also the organization or the field you work at. Moving forward to the essence, if you will, of our webinar today. This webinar, the empowering youth towards achieving sustainable development goals in the Arab region, we will tackle means and approaches towards achieving these goals. And more precisely, on the youth engagement, we aim to look deeper into how organizations, projects utilize special strategies or capacities to establish enabling environment to engage and empower youth towards the global sustainable development goals. For this aim, myself and on behalf of the center, the KAICIID International Dialogue Center, delighted to have with us today three excellent speakers who would help us and share with us their reflections and experiences in this critical topic from different angles. To begin with, introducing Mrs. Khadija Maalij from Tunisia. Khadija is the Media for Social Change consultant joining us today from Tunisia. Also, Mrs. Shadin Al-Hamaidi, the Institutional Development, Strategic Planning, and Monitoring and Evaluation expert joining us today from Jordan. And last but not least, we do have also with us leader Samar Al-Qadi from Sadaqa Palestinian Scouts. And she's joining us, we're delighted that she's joining us today from Nablus in Palestine. On behalf of our dear speakers, on behalf of KAICIID International Dialogue Center and the Interreligious Platform for Dialogue and Cooperation, the Arab World, I would like to thank you and for your time and for joining us today and welcome you to this webinar. Without any further delay, I would like to pass the floor to our first speaker, starting from Tunisia, to learn more about enabling youth contribution to SDGs through policy engagement. Khadija, the floor is yours. You have 10 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Dima. Welcome, everybody. Marhaba, assalamu alaikum, وين ما كنتم from all over the world. I'm so glad to be with you. And yeah, let's see what the Tunisian approach is like or look like. Yalla, let's share. So I'm going to talk about I am the president. Maybe wherever you are in the Arab world or outside the Arab world, maybe you have heard about برنامج أنا رئيس أنا رئيسة, which may look a little bit bizarre or strange, but it's actually, yes, it's a new generation and new leaders that we have created through this TV show. Actually, it looks like a Star Academy show or like these all popular TV reality TV shows like Star Academy, as I said, The Voice, etc. But this time not to have musicians or artists, but this time we're to have political and new leaders and new generation. That's why this project is to empower the next generation of Tunisian democratic political leaders through a very simple and easy process that makes them engage and that makes the audience understand what is this whole process in order to be themselves the leaders and themselves they take the how to say it, they take the initiatives to change the Tunisian or the Arab context, for example. So this TV program actually is a peace building program. The show aimed to change the public as well perceptions of youth leader and promotes the political participation of young people especially. And that was implemented by Search for Common Ground, which is one of the most or the world's largest dedicated peace building organizations in the world, with more than 15 offices in 29 countries, which is mission is to transform the way the world deals with conflicts and away from violence toward cooperation. And through this TV show or the reality TV show of Ana Rais, I Am the President, we try to implement this mission as well with us. So to start with, there is a couple of facts about the show that I really wanted to share with you. So once we started preparing for the show, we said it's gonna be a first time in Tunisia and in the Arab world kind of, that people are going to apply for political shows and with no prior notice before. So we were so surprised that we received more than 2,000 applications during the casting. So it was a huge number according to what we estimated. And after that, we have selected 24 presidents or aspiring presidents to go and move through the live episodes and the primes that were broadcasted on TV. A little bit later, I'm going to show you the details on what we have done and what we have tackled. We have huge numbers, as you can see, 1.8 and more million views for the theme of the song theme of the show. We had 4 partners: Man Network from Palestine, Baramish Production in Tunisia, Kartash Plus TV, and the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So how it went and how we managed to engage people. As I said, we were afraid that we cannot reach these people and the Tunisian youth, and especially that we were in a critical phase in Tunisia where we, as youth, we lost the trust between youth and the politicians that are in the government. And many of them, they were like, they said, no way that we are going to roll into elections anymore and we are not going to vote, because no more trust. They are not even taking in consideration that there are young leaders that they want to be in the show. So, or to be in real life. I apologize if you are seeing my emails. So what we have done, we have created something which is a digital campaign. So this digital campaign, which was on the internet, going on mainly through social media platforms, aimed to encourage youth to know about what's happening in Tunisia, about how people should be engaged and inclusive to everybody, to women, to men, etc., and how it's very important that everyone takes leadership positions in order to change the country. So here, for example, we can see that as youth, you decide and you can choose. But if, for example, if you are a president, what do you do? So we were tackling them directly in order to raise this, and that's analytical thinking and critical thinking toward them and make them engaged. This is how we engage the public. And we were saying, like, encourage them as well to vote, because we were in a very critical situation during elections, and etc. We want to share with them updates on what's happening in the SDGs, for example, and how the position of Tunisia in the SDGs, and what are as well the SDGs. So people from behind their screens watching or dealing with the digital platform of I Am the President, they know, and the information they receive can clarify a lot of things for them. So after this digital campaigns that we have had, we went, and after we received the 2,000 application, we went into the process of auditions. We received, or we met more than 500 Tunisian youth in all over Tunisia who came for audition. And it was very easy question. If you are a president, what are the main 3 pillars or axes that you want to tackle once you are in the presidency? So some of them were so normal, but one of them, like 100 of them, were so genius that the jury members wanted to take the 100 candidates. So these are some pictures that I'm showing to you during elections. These are the 3 jury members. And this studio, we traveled with it into 9 Tunisian regions in order to reach a maximum number of Tunisians. So finally, these are the 100 that were accepted into the Academy of I Am the President. And as you can see, it's 50 male, 50 female, which this is what we wanted to aim is to this gender equality. And we were also so inclusive to accept everybody with us. Like we had what I call heroes, because they struggled and they challenged everything, the environment and you know, the family relations, etc., to come to the academy for 10 days. One of them is a mother with her kid. Like he was a newborn, 13 days, and he stayed with us in the academy. So during the academy, which is the 10 days, we wanted to go out with something, which is a president that has everything in his mind. So from leadership courses into human rights, into legal terminologies, sport, activity, music, everything. We wanted to create this atmosphere in which a president should be able to be diversified and know everything that's what's happening in order to one day act and react in an appropriate way. So these are a few pictures from the atmosphere of the academy and how it went as well in terms of filming, because we were producing, like the production company or the production team were at the same time present there. And that period as well was broadcasted on TV to make the audience learn as well what are the themes, what are the topics that a president should know, how it deals, etc. And they followed closely their preferred candidate. After that, we went into another audition in which we got 24 candidates. So the 24th candidates, we went into very deep training with them, which is now, for example, the common ground approach training, in which they deal with different and complex situations, etc. And they learned how to do or to make speeches in order to reach democracy. For example, this one, the Common Ground for Democracy campaign that they have had, etc. So after the academy, we went into the primes. So as you can see, it's all like a TV show, etc. And during the primes, it was kind of outreach challenges and question and answers, or the nominees لهيدا الأسبوع, as we say in our word. We have every time people who can manage their outreach challenges, people who fail doing so, and the challenges were mainly in their regions. So they were dealing with ministries, with municipalities, with many people who with local authorities in order to implement social projects that are related kind of to the SDGs, in order to ameliorate the situation, etc. And also, whenever there is nominees, we engage the audience to vote through SMS voting. So this is how it looks like people when they vote. And then we went through also, like during the whole process, we went through very deep conversations and very deep training, or let's say tailor-made training. For example, the diplomacy. We cannot perceive a president without being very well educated on diplomacy, how it works. But not also we had this pillar of training, but also to practice. So we went to the ministry, for example, the Dutch ministry, the Dutch embassy, the Palestinian embassy in Tunisia, where they met the ambassadors and where they interacted and where they lived as they are the ambassadors for one day to practice the diplomacy side. And also this one is the outreach challenges that they had inside ministries. So they spent all days with ministers, etc. And they took decisions in the place of ministers. Until we finally reached the final prime. After 8 primes, we reached the final prime with the 3 candidates, 2 male and 1 female, in which they presented their presidential campaign in front of the large audience and public. And that was live, and people who were, the audience were able to vote for them. So this is how it looked like. And this is the, Mehdi Ben Amr is the winner finally of the show. And this was during the presidential campaign. They were asked the same questions that were asked the real president in the presidential campaign in Tunisia that were taking place simultaneously. So we had simultaneously legislative elections and presidential elections. And many of the Tunisian people, they were like tweeting and writing on social media that the Tunisians or the youth in the TV show of I Am the President are more, let's say, more efficient to be president rather than the other ones who are the real presidents. Because here with our TV show, they talk freely, they act freely, etc. So by the end, this is how it looked like. And this is by my left is the Palestinian ambassador who was in the TV show, who delivered as well who felicitated the winner. And after the TV show, when it came to an end, we didn't stop our activities at all. However, now where the youth exactly and efficiently start working on the field themselves, because they kind of became very famous in their regions and they became influencers in their regions. So we held in 6 Tunisia regions, we went into 30 community dialogues where the participants themselves, they were holding the community dialogues. They discussed with the local teams that they have and their neighborhood to discuss the issues that they are living and try to connect them with local authorities and try to come up with concrete solutions that they can implement in their home regions in order to solve the issues that they are facing. And also they were invited into, as I told you, we were in the critical phase in Tunisia where there is elections. Meanwhile, they were invited into 99 days of elections, which in this TV show, there were, let's say, there were people from the parliament. After 99 days that they were elected, they were came to the TV show to debate on the work they have done. It's kind of accountability and meanwhile to evaluate their work after 99 days of being in the parliament. And guess who asked the questions? They were our candidates from the TV show who were facing the real parliamentaries and the real people from the parliament and ask them questions and do follow-up questions in order to see where they stand for in terms of their work and the implementation of concrete actions toward the problems in Tunisia. Also, during the COVID-19, we discovered that they had a lot of hidden talents. So they went into different places trying to help people from all over the country. We had doctors, etc. So all of these youth were able to have a good impact on Tunisia. They also they tried as well to share positive vibes in order to attract more people to get into real life, to change, that everyone can have the chance to be a leader and they can have the chance to change the place. And also we have included them in the final evaluation. So all the participants who participated in the TV show of I Am the President are part of the changing process, because we believe that this process or this approach had added a lot of value for them. So we wanted to evaluate what went wrong, what needed to be in a better situation, or what we can keep for other editions. And they were part as well of this process. Also, the finalist of the I Am the President was asked by several ministers to come to help them and support them in implementing their projects, because they believe that now in Tunisia, the power is for youth to change. And yeah, that's it. So until now, they didn't stop actually trying to make good impact, and they didn't stop to implement great initiatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Khadija. If I may pick up from your very last sentence, it's indeed SDGs is a contribution towards SDGs is an accumulative process. So every bits and piece matters absolutely on the long run and on the long run, and has absolutely its value. Indeed, inclusive, it sounds, the program, I'm the President, is an inclusive policy approach for youth on the national level of Tunisia. And it's definitely loved to be seen replicated across the region. And an example, of course, for replication. Some questions are already coming on the program and the aspects of it. We will come to that later during the Q&A section. And I may ask and encourage once again all participants to make the best use of the chat and Q&A section. Please, you're kindly encouraged. And after the policy, looking at the policy inclusive approach, it also brings us towards the economical angle, how youth can look forward and make the best use of economic situations or enabling environments they can contribute into it towards SDGs. And from that, I am myself and everyone delighted to hear from Shadin Al-Hamaida from Jordan. Shadin, the floor is yours. You have 10 minutes, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm very, very excited and delighted to be here. And I love the program that Khadija presented. It's amazing. I'm going to share my screen, but in the presentation, there's a video, so I will not be able to speak until the video is over.
The Arab region has a long and dynamic history of philanthropy and charitable giving. Philanthropic organizations and individuals want to make their communities and societies better. We can help. We are a membership-based association and network of philanthropic foundations and organizations working throughout the Arab region. Created in 2006, the Arab Foundations Forum has helped its members in defining a more strategic model of philanthropic giving. We work with our members and on their behalf to create a network of regional foundations, organizations, corporations, and NGOs, all working towards public and social good. We make sure our network is enriched by connecting our members with each other across the region and around the world. Our network is up to date on the latest trends and global conversations around philanthropy that affect the region and the world we live in. The Arab Foundations Forum is committed to increasing the capacity of our network and of the philanthropic sector overall. We aim to position ourselves as the hub for all things related to philanthropy in the Arab region. We do this by convening workshops, webinars, and conferences, providing our network with relevant information and building the skills and capacity of the sector. The Arab Foundations Forum also focuses on providing additional services to its members by using effective methods and strategies of communications and outreach across the region and around the world. On behalf of our members and in their service, by increasing the visibility of our organization, we are also raising awareness of our membership beyond our region's boundaries. Our advocacy objective means that the Arab Foundations Forum serves as a champion for the causes that affect philanthropic endeavors in the region. We are always up to date on the issues, and we aim to nurture and encourage a more enabling environment for our members in order to allow their good work to thrive. By engaging all sectors of society, we aim to create a vibrant, strategic, and dynamic philanthropic sector. When you join our network as a member, you join our family. You benefit from our services and you help us to build a community of like-minded philanthropic organizations across the region. We know that our members share a commitment and a desire to make their world a better place. The Arab Foundations Forum wants to help build a strategic and effective philanthropic sector so we can help you make that desire a reality. Join us today and let's make this happen together.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, all right. So as you've seen in the video, I come from a forum called the Arab Foundations Forum. It's a non-for-profit membership-based association. It brings together all philanthropic foundations in the Arab region into a network for a vision of an effective and strategic philanthropic sector in the Arab region that engages with all aspects of society towards growing social responsibility and investment while advancing public good. We have a forum that serves as a networking hub, a knowledge hub. It also builds the capacity of our members and partners. We aim to foster the dialogue and the collaboration opportunity among our network in order to bolster the capacity and efficacy of a strategic philanthropy in the Arab region. We have the four main objectives. The first one is the networking and networking opportunities between all the Arab foundations that we have that they work in the sector of philanthropy. The second one is to establish a knowledge hub and a resource hub for the Arab region. The third one is to provide our members with quality benefits and services tailored to their needs and to the activities of the sector that they work in the region. And the last one is we try to play a pivotal role in facilitating and spearheading initiatives around advocacy for the sector. Out of the Arab Foundations Forum came an initiative under the name of Youth Coalition. This initiative is basically a platform that brings together like-minded Arab foundations that work in youth development and employment. We want those foundations to collaborate on the identification, expansion, potential funding of successful and impactful youth employment programs. The vision of the Youth Coalition is to increase and create youth employment opportunities in the Arab region. And our mission is to accelerate the impact by optimizing philanthropic capital and potential. This is mainly an initiative that goes around SDG 8, which is to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. of course, this SDG is also connected to other SDGs related to poverty and other human rights and all other SDGs. For the Youth Coalition, we have also 4 objectives. The first one is to create some sort of an ecosystem that will be able to provide effective and efficient scalable youth employment programs and approaches for the benefit of youth around the Arab region. We also want to capture measurable evidence-based impact and produce knowledge and data that is based on facts and measured impact and outcomes from all the programs and initiatives around youth in the Arab world. We also aim to become an advocacy and an endorsement platform for more effective philanthropy, more efficient partnerships and policy change. We also want to create a culture of collaboration and building impactful partnerships with all our members of AFF and the Youth Coalition to work together towards the role of youth development. The Youth Coalition has 4 pillars of impact. The first one is around the business and talent development. The second is the market linkages. The third is enabling business environment. And the fourth is flexible patient capital. Zooming into each one of these pillars, what is meant by the business and talent development is providing customized and sustained business trainings and solutions, including market information, marketing, management, finance, strategic planning, and technology. This is all to help startups and new businesses to become better and to develop in their local markets and then into global markets. The second part of this pillar is helping youth seeking jobs to acquire the right skills for the local labor market and to become ready for work through effective career counseling and monitoring. This is to maximize their opportunity to be placed in jobs. The second pillar of our impact pillars is the market linkages, and from its name, it means linking SMEs and startups to supply chains and vast potential businesses and community development opportunities with the market. And this also includes social enterprises as well as business enterprises. As for the third pillar, which is the flexible patient capital, it means, in other words, access to finance, where we help our SMEs and startups in the Arab region to be connected to different financing entities and funding entities to help them grow and achieve their greatest potential to become job creators as we tend them to be, and to be able to decrease the unemployment rates in our countries. The fourth pillar is around enabling business environment, which means helping those SMEs and startups overcome the barriers, whether they're regulatory, legislations, logistical, to help them overcome those challenges and to be able to succeed, as it is much harder for smaller enterprises to overcome those challenges than it is for bigger enterprises. I will end my presentation with this final slide because I always thought it is very interesting to know. Some of these figures are very interesting to look at. Those are figures collected from our members of the Youth Coalition in the year 2017, when we first began the Youth Coalition. So you can imagine and replicate and duplicate and triplicate those numbers to other platforms, and you can imagine the number of the number of partners or organizations working in youth producing such a fact sheet, because these numbers come from just a little bit more than 20 partners in the Youth Coalition. So we have collected the fact that we have more than 70 programs creating impact. We have more than 7,600 direct job opportunities created.
As much as possible. Shadin, I can't agree anymore with you on the importance of indeed networking and partnerships towards the desired change and desired impact and the desired contribution towards SDGs. And also, as you mentioned, the SMEs, which is abbreviated for the small medium enterprises in the Arab region, according to the UNDP, they create almost 59% of the market, and that's a huge amount of the business or entrepreneurship market in the Arab region. And indeed, such networks is absolutely
شريحة لقطاع الأعمال، إدارة الأعمال. أما بالنسبة لنا فنحن نظرنا إلى منحيين، أولاً السياسة وثانياً الاقتصاد. فأنا سعيدة جداً ومتشوقة لنرى نظرة المنظمات العالمية، وهي منظمة الشباب الأكبر ومنظمة الحركة الكشفية التي تساهم لأهداف التنمية المستدامة، والتي تعبئ 50 مليون مشتركاً في الحركة الكشفية باتجاه المساهمة في أهداف التنمية المستدامة. ولدينا السيدة سمر قاضي الريادية في هذا المجال. تفضلي، لديك 10 دقائق. مرحباً بكم جميعاً وشكراً لك ديما على الدعوة. كما أنا سعيدة بأن أكون اليوم بينكم لأقدم لكم الحركة الكشفية في العالم العربي وتعاملها مع أهداف التنمية المستدامة. سأشارككم بالشاشة. سأتحدث عن تمكين الشباب في تحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة والسياق، وسأتحدث عن وضع الشباب وإلى الأمام، ما هو وضع الشباب أو الشباب العربي بشكل خاص. وأيضاً سأتحدث عن أهداف التنمية المستدامة وما هو حركة الكشافة من أجل التنمية.
Scouts for SDGs work and the scouting with SDGs and the better world framework. We will talk about the framework, that the actions that the scouts make for SDGs. Also, we are talking about the programs and achievings and the goals, and finally I will talk about the community actors and the partners and their benefits. Then I will start with the youth situation. Who are the youths and what the situations in these days? Who are the youths? Until now, there is no agreed international definition, but in the United Nations defines youth as between the ages between 15 and 24. This is the age that we will talk about today. And the situation these days, they are nearly 1 billion young people, and the expectations in 2030, they will increase 7% to be 1.3 billion. It's a huge number, and we have to notice that and focus about that. Also, we have to talk about as a young people, they are increasing. So the increasing of these people, they are increasing in demands. We have to focus on 4 goals in SDGs: good health, quality education, gender equality, and decent work in economic. We have 2 goals that I have to mention and focus on. The goal 8, decent work and economic growth, and the 4th goal, quality education. The objective text is the suitable development goals to providing inclusive, fair, and opportunities for those youth, and the need to ensure that young people has enabled to receive this free and quality education, and the impact in this quality of life, creating a successful transition. We have to make a successful transition from a poor opportunities to good opportunities. Also, in economic growth and the work, we have to advocate for decent work for young people. But the problem here is we have unemployment and lack in employment. So we have to provide them some work, some economies to enable them to achieve. Also, the challenges of securing suitable and decent work remain more complex for many of men and women in youth's world. So, Scouts for SDGs. What Scouts for SDGs? We have a long years with the Scouts. They have always trying to be in the line of making SDGs in our lives and enable people to reach their basic needs in our life. So we have 50 million of Scouts making the world's largest youth contribution to sustainable development goals. I have to mention something that it's not a new thing or a new, for example, trend that all of Scouts trying to make SDGs as a way of life. No, we have many of actions. I will show it to you that we many actions that made it for SDGs and trying to make it as in our goals and a model in our plan of Scouts. What is Scouts for SDGs? This is the question that all of us in our minds. What Scouts in SDGs is a mobilization of 50 million, as I mentioned, that leverage the Scout Youth Program and movements initiatives under the Better World framework. So, what is the framework word? We have in education, Scouting enables young people to active global initiatives and citizens, and also we have a good education to key to achievement sustainable development. How will Scouts Scouts for SDGs work? First thing or أول إشي, we have to inspire young people to become active global citizens. Also, we have to enable them and give them the tools that they can enter these basics and also to deliver this.
نستطيع أن نستمع جدا، نستطيع أن نستمع لذلك.
We have to deliver young people with competencies for the SDGs. Sustainable as an individual, making communities, making comfortable places, be part of the global agenda, and also ensure Scouting's continued relevance for society and strengthen the last
خلال
one.
المشاركة وزيادة الاستدامة للأفراد وضمان أهمية الحركة الكشفية وتعزيز الشراكات وتحسين جمع الأموال. إذا لدينا أول إطار هو إطار من أجل عالم أفضل Better World Framework، وهو عمل مستدام، برنامج عمل مستدام. لنا 4 دورات من ناحية الحركة الكشفية، الشباب والشركاء والأعضاء في المحلية. هي التعبئة التي ستعزز المتابعة والتقييم عبر تحقيق هذه الأهداف والمبادرات عن طريق
coordinated programs, calls to actions and events designed to develop the competencies of young people to become global active citizens by taking actions. How we can take these actions? We have to purpose young people become active citizens through the action in the community, and also community developing occurs through the actions of young people. So it's a loop, like a circle. It's we have to enable these young people, then we will reach the community development and make action in the community by these SDGs. Also, our initiatives, calls to action, campaigns, and programs and events. We have these actions or programs or stations, Messenger of Peace, World Scout Environment. I will talk about them in next slides. First of them, the Partimento Scout Badge. Young people aged between 15 and 26 years. Scouts and non-scouts raise awareness and mobilize young people, practice and help world heritage. They working on the world heritage. Also, we have the World Scout Environment. They taking care of the environment and making many programs. Their aims, people and natural systems, sufficient natural habitat, risk risk of harmful substances, environmental practices, and people are prepared for hazards. This is what we need as a youth people, to be prepared if there is anything in the environment making a difference. Also, a Scout Go Scholar Badge creates awareness, increase in knowledge, and develop the skills of the Scouts for solar energy. And He for She campaign, it's a program that making action get developed in collaboration with UN's He for She movement. They looking at the gender equality, quality of education, social inclusion, and advocacy. They looking for the gender equality of 10 goal of SDGs. Also, the Dialogue for Peace program to gain mutual respect and mutual understanding and to learn about each other's identities while appreciating differences. So they looking for different goals in SDGs, goal 16, 13, 11, and as you see in the screen. Also, the Messengers of Peace program and network, 3 ways to create peace, personal, community-based, collective results, and 4 steps to make achievement in this Messengers for Peace: inspire, learn, and design, do, and share. So this the table that you see in the screen, it's linking the initiatives with the SDGs. We can find each of these programs that I showed to you and how many they succeed in these goals, 17 goals of SDGs. Also, this is the practical way that you see the photos of us as scouts, region scouts, Arabic scouts. We have in the right Dialogue for Peace conference, December 2019 in Egypt. I was and my friend presented in this conference, and also in the 19th Arab Scout Conference, SDGs, currently held in the Arab Republic of Egypt in Sharm el-Sheikh. It was in 2019. Also, because of our situation now of COVID-19, we have many scouts in all over the world. They making like an online programs to make achievements in their programs, like Dialogue for Peace. As you see here, we are discussing how we can make a plan for Dialogue for Peace in these days, and how we make with from our free time something good and special. Also, we have here in March 2020, the Kuwait Boy Scouts Association immediately announced placing all the potentials in COVID-19 and facilities of association, including its hotel. They help people to find food, to find places that they can make a quarantine there. So this is programs or actions that they made in COVID-19. Also, who are the key actors? We have many actors that enable us to achieve or reach these places. We have WOSM and NSOs providing support and information and developing capacity for adults. We have community actors providing insights, expertise, and networks to support young people. We have young people in scouting. They in different ages, like scouts, Cub Scouts, scouts in 11 to 15 years old, and we have the partners supporting young people and the NSOs by providing knowledge and financial support. So we have different benefits of community actors and partners: empowers young people, provides opportunities for partners, encourages collaborations, and allows experts to work with young people. So we have this network of partnerships around the SDGs, and KAICIID is one of these networks, partnerships. And by 2030, all the scouts, they have a goal to achieve. All scouts acquire key competencies to promote sustainable development. So thank you, and I hope all these actions and all these goals be in our reality. And if you need any question, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Summer. Indeed, huge work. And as we all know, the Scouts organization is the world's largest youth organization. And it's like 50 million plus youth around the world. And that's a huge effort towards contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals. Without any further delay also, I would like to move with the permission, if you may allow me, to the Q&A section with a little 9 minutes remaining, if I may, and also with the permission of our participants, will not be able to take all the questions, unfortunately, but we'll make sure to have some that address most of the aspects. I'd like to begin with a general question that was asked, on what ways are there, our speakers thinks that, what ways can we preserve the talent of youth and the development of youth, and how can we enhance it and preserve it towards the global sustainable development goals, whether in policy or in economics or through the social change organizations. The question is open, if anyone would like to pick up on that. I can't hear you, Khadija. Khadija?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm muted, so yeah. Actually, according to our experience, for example, with I Am the President, as you said, at the beginning we didn't knew how to work with youth, but we saw that they have some interest in politics and they have interest to change some access in society. Based on that, or based on this perception survey or the baseline that we have conducted, we
قمنا بها
are going forward on this. So we build the capacities and skills of the youth in order to become able to address the challenges that they face in the world. So we cannot, for example, ask them to solve all the SDGs at once, but to specify themselves or to be more specific in addressing a specific issue that they excel on it and they have the right tools to move forward on that. So this is how I perceive it myself as well.
Sorry, I was with myself. Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And from an economical networking and partnerships angle, is there any input also from the youth coalition probably on youth talents preservation?
Yeah, I always believe in collaboration and the power of partnership, and integrating our work on the different programs together to lead into the success and the development of our youth. Unfortunately, you can see in our country or in other Arab countries, or generally in the world, sometimes many of the programs are overlapping, and there is little collaboration in between those organizations working towards the same goal. So my answer would be a partnership and collaboration. And as an expert in monitoring and evaluation, I believe in evidence-based impactful programs, and not just blabbering and those programs that give shine but with no real value.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, agree with being specific with collaboration, networking. And I think, unfortunately, we lost Summer due to some technical issues, and I'm looking forward to have her back with us. Are you with us back, Summer? Summer?
Hello.
Can you hear? Yes. Um, all right, I'll come back to Summer's answer on this question, but there was a question to you, Khadija, back onto the I'm the President program. How do you think?
I have a bad connection.
No, okay, so the question, I'll come back to you, Samar, with a generic question, but then there was a question to Khadija on how can we, the program I'm the President, how can we, how do you think out of this experience, it can be replicated or regenerated into different fields, for example, education fields or peace building fields or economic and so on and so forth. What's your view on that?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do through, for example, in the experience of I am the president, or what we aimed by I am the president. I am the president, it doesn't really mean, for example, a president of a country or the how to say, the terminology of president, but including the leader itself. So we can find leaders in economy, leaders in health sector, in environment, etc. So through the experience, for example, we wanted to make sure that we come through all of this through the outreach challenges that we tackle. So for example, we went, for example, to know how to manage a state budget, which is related to the economic sector. For example, they went into the Ministry of Health in which they tackled all relations or details related to health as well. So from my perspective as well, I can think that this kind of reality TV shows, we can adapt it and the way we perceive and the way we want to achieve by the end of it. For example, in Tunisia, there is another reality TV show that appeared later on. It's called El Pitch. So to make Tunisian youth know how to pitch their project ideas and their startups and to do the follow-up, etc. So there is a lot and plenty of ideas, but this kind of, or this approach or this tool can reach the wider public. So because we are in front of on our TVs, we can see it clearly how it works, etc. So I really encourage everyone to check it from the perspective that they want by the end to reach.
Thank you very much, Khadija. And if you may allow me, everyone, I'll need to come back to Samar. If you can hear us, Samar, by now. There was a question from the audience.
من الجمهور. ما هو رأيك من وجهة نظر الحركة الكشفية؟ ما هي المناهج والمناحي التي يمكن أن نقوم بها للمحافظة على مهارات ومواهب الشباب بخصوص تحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة؟ نعم، يمكن أن نحسن عندما ننظر إلى هدف التنمية المستدامة الرابع المتعلق بالتعليم. عذراً، هناك خلل تقني، ويمكن شيء يمكن أن نعطيه للأشخاص وتحسينه، خلق برامج وعمل تطوعي للحركة الكشفية. يمكن أن نخلق تغييراً على الإنترنت مثلاً أو مبادرات على الإنترنت. للأسف الصوت غير واضح، لا نستطيع الترجمة.
And also we have by our personalities how we can bring together.
أيضاً كيف يمكن أن نكون فاعلين ودوراً وقدوة خلال شخصياتنا ونعطي بذلك مساهمة لمجتمعاتنا. نعم، سمعناك. نعم.
Apologies for the very bad connection in general. You know, it's over the word. There is a heavy usage, and we are, but we're still glad for the contribution indeed, and much appreciate your input, Samar. There have been a lot of questions, and unfortunately we are over time, and I think all the questions are absolutely relevant and indeed. we can sit for hours about that, but much appreciation to to our participants' active contribution and listening as well. And also the thanks goes to our wonderful speakers today for the rich interventions and sharing with their experiences with us. Now, due to time limitations, we'll have to end, unfortunately, the webinar here today. But I would like to mention again that this webinar is being recorded and it will be available on KAICIID International Dialogue Center website in the next couple of days. So please, all participants are encouraged to revisit the page and share their the recording and the session and listen to it once again. I would like to thank you all again and wishing you a very nice remaining of the day. And we look forward to future webinars on youth engagement and empowerment.
Thank you, Dima, and thank you for all the listeners.
Thank you, Dima. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was great to be here. Thanks.
It's great to have you all. Thank you.